Chapter 1. Lying in the bed, looking through two holes in the bandages that covered most of the body. At 40 years old, Joe wondered how he got here. What has he accomplished in his life? He had so many goals, and most are unmet. The rest are forgotten. A divorced single parent with 3 children, the last of which is about to leave home. Just ending a failing relationship with an alcoholic, weed-smoking woman who couldn't decide if she was born a lesbian. When last asked about making her mind up, her only response was, 2 tears in a bucket. Forget it. She too is a single parent with a much younger daughter. Only 13, he feels a kindred spirit with her situation, so he stays in a relationship. His daughter is getting married and moving away. Brenda, no longer the love in his life, wants him to spend more time with her and the kid. Why not? Tomorrow he would be all alone anyway. Asked if the relationship was ever great, he talked about it with me. Why don't you come over Friday night? I get off work at 12:30 a.m. and we can cook some popcorn and watch a movie, Brenda asked. Joseph was a little bit leery of the invitation. It would be the first time he had been over that late in quite a while and had all the trappings of an overnight stay. By the time the movie was over and they had some intimate time, it could be easily 3 a.m. and the simple, why don't you just stay over? We don't have to work tomorrow, would seem quite appealing, as opposed to getting up, getting dressed, and driving the 20 minutes across the bridge home. Brenda lived on the south end of St. Petersburg, Florida, while Joe lived across the bridge in Tampa. A trap, or simply a great idea, he wondered. 12 a.m. Friday night, and Joseph is on the road to Brenda's house. Her daughter Jenna is gone for the weekend to visit the grandparents. Not like last week when Brenda had to put a pillow over her mouth to muffle the sounds of her coming. It seemed funny at the time, but the thought of her daughter overhearing us has been stuck in Joe's mind ever since. So at least it won't be a concern for this night. She could scream to the top of her lungs and no one will care. Halfway through the movie, it became apparent that Brenda was not going to be awake to see the end. It was time to make a graceful exit and go home. Will you just stay and hold me? Brenda asked. There's not a good answer to this question, except sure. So not only would Joe be staying overnight, but there would be no sex. Something he had been looking forward to all week. Even if they woke up early, it would be rushed because he knew he was getting together with Lex on Saturday morning. It would not be such a big deal. It's not as if at age 40 staying over at a woman's house was a reason for concern. In Brenda's case, he had recently gotten back together. The problem really started innocently, an overnight stay that eventually turned into spending more nights on the other side of the bridge than at home. It was so bad that the only time he made it home was on his lunch break. He knew the secret place where Brenda kept the key in case she got locked out. Sex every night was a welcome change. There was never a dull moment. Leaving a blues bar one night, Brenda thought it would be fun to give a little head while Joe was driving on I-75 at 70 miles an hour. Instead, he had to convince her to be content, with Joe running his hands across her breast and between her thighs. And as she leaned back with her head out the window, Joe fingering her into oblivion, he thought he had found his soulmate. Never mind that he spent the next few weeks riding along the interstate looking for a cap that flew off his head. The sounds of her coming over and over again made him harder still. He did not wait to get inside. He pulled into the backyard and got out and had sex on the hood of the car. True bliss.